again, day 2 of PAX, and I am playing Trenched, the latest of Double Fine's downloadable titles on XBLA.
So you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, so these two men that are the main characters of the game sort of use their broadcast inspired intelligence to go 2 different directions. Commander Woodruff said after World War I, he's an injured veteran, so he uses his intelligence to go back out in the world by making mechanical legs for himself and other veterans. Whereas Farnsworth is more of like a selfish guy. He invents the monovision. It's like a TV that only gets one channel. So everyone buys 10 or 20 of them, but when he gets his monovisions, he sees the horrors of the world broadcast back. And he goes insane and broadcasts his hate with the power of the broadcast, and all the TVs come to life. And that's the monovision menace that you're fighting. So Commander Woodruff reacts by taking the 2 things he knows best, trench warfare and mechanical legs, combining them into giant mobile trenches. And that's what you drive in Trenched.
Alright. You're okay with being on camera, right?
Well, I mean, I'd say it's fairly safe to say that one of the things Double Fine is most known for is kind of their comedy in their games.
Absolutely.
How is the comedy introduced to this?
Right here, so the style for the game is these men's magazines. So you'll notice all the text is preposterous. It's like the style of the game is these super over-the-top, machismo-driven men's magazines. So it's like oil paintings of dudes wrestling 800-pound gorillas for women or punching out a snake. So we take that machismo all the way to the limit. And these are the manliest men in any video game ever. They light their cigars with their guns, and they chug whiskey and play cards. And
Double Fine did not disappoint in your home.
So a lot of it comes through in the story. It's like the story of these 2 men. There's a lot of character there. Also the pilot. You get to choose one of 4 pilots named after the 4 surviving World War I veterans. And they have a lot of character in their banter.
I am liking the titles of the magazines.
I really like the enemy design. It's the enemy design is just so different from the rest of the game.
I just
it stands out.
No, I like
distinct.
So all the monsters in the game have TVs incorporated into them somehow.
Nice.
Welcome to the last operational airfield in all of Europe. Every day, brave.
So the controls are basic mech shooter controls, 3rd person. So left stick move, right stick aim. The 2 triggers are your weapons. And then to place the towers, you hold in, this is your setup towers. Hold in the left shoulder button to preview where it's going to go, and then release it to drop the tower. Perfect. So if next time you want to drop a different one, you use the D-pad to select. The one on the bottom is your shotgun for ground units. The one on the right is your flak turret for anti-air. And the one on the left is a slow tower to let you get more shots with your other towers. Of course, Claude is a traditional supervillain, so he always has to tell you how he's going to kill you before he does it.
Doesn't know that we've been developing flak turrets for just such an enemy. Get some of them.
There's going to be air units coming from your left.
And so at the end of the last demo, it said Europe, victory in Europe. So do you bounce around the world
Absolutely. You fight in 3 different continents: Europe, then Africa, then the Pacific. So after every wave, you're going to want to hold in the right button to activate your magnet. That sucks in the televisions, and the television energy is what you use to build more turrets. So here's how much you have down here, and here are the costs. Yeah, there's 5 missions in each continent. The first 4 are all defense missions of some kind. You'll be defending 1 or more targets. And then the 5th mission is a boss in each continent. So it's more of like an attack.
And you said Europe, Africa, and Pacific, so you're basically doing World War II as it...
Exactly, but set after World War I.
Yeah, cool.
What is the leg of the bunny?
So in this case, it depends on which legs you equip. The legs are one of the parts of the loot in the game. So you have the quadruped. The quadruped's ability is a melee attack. So when you press A, it's going to stun all the enemies around you. The biped's power is a sprint, and the tripod's power is a lockdown. You can lock in place and get faster reloads. playing in 3-player co-op, and all the mechs are equipped differently. And like the main axis of customization is how you decide on the type of play you want. So if you want to be more focused on tower defense, you can pick a light mech where you'll get fewer guns on your trench, but you'll get more towers available and they'll be more powerful. They'll also cost less. Whereas if you go to the other side, you pick a heavy mech, you'll get more and bigger guns, and you'll have fewer turrets in trade.
Which rank am I playing right now?
You're playing a medium, so you have 2 slots on each side. You've got 2 machine guns in the 2 slots on the left, and 1 2-slot sniper rifle on the right, and you have 3 out of 4 turrets. Good balance.
That means he has like medium health while the lighter guy has like little. And so before every mission, you just choose the mech you want to have?
No, everything's customizable individually.
Right.
So there's like 20 or so different chassis, 12 or 15 different legs. There's 6 different types of weapons. Within each class of weapon, there's 5 or 10 specific instances of that type of weapon. And then there's 9 turret types. Each turret type has 5 or 10 different varieties of that turret.
So basically, your mech is your mech.
Absolutely, yeah. And it shows up in the leaderboard. So when you customize your mech, every time you win a mission, it updates your entry in the leaderboard. And when you browse the leaderboard, if you press A on anyone's name, it'll show you their mech as they last won a mission.
Nice. So you kind of see what the best of the best is.
Absolutely, yeah. It also has asynchronous multiplayer, so every time you win a match with a group of players, they'll automatically be added to your regiment. And whenever your regiment earns stats like machine gun kills or sniper kills, they contribute to regiment challenges. So you might need 500 machine gun kills from your whole regiment to earn like the next level of machine gun.
So you say that the moment you win it, like you play a game against somebody, they're in your regiment. So that means you're going to be like, by the end of like a day, you're going to be like at least like 20 different, like.
Well, it caps at 10, so it's the most recent 10 players.
All right.
And then it's asynchronous in that if you finish for the night, you turn off your Xbox, you come back a few days later, as soon as you press start, you'll get an update on how your regiment's been doing. And you'll see the progress they've made and all the stats they've contributed to your regiment challenges.
All right. It's like, oh, you're part of 100 regiments. Good job. So
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a bit much.
Yeah, well, like your regiment is personal to you.
Right.
So it's like the list of players that you have played with, the most recent 10.
But could you make it like a regiment of just your friends?
Well, if you play with your friends primarily, then they'll always be in your regiment.
All right. So not so much like a set.
No, it's not something you have to manage. It's just automatically as you play, people get added.
All right. So the enemy types, it's all like, they're all, it looks like melee, like these guys.
Yep.
Then there's like those charging
Blitzers, yeah.
Yeah. And then the flying ones.
Yeah, aerial model vision.
Yeah, so they're like range of floor, you guys.
Yeah, there's 12 different enemies in the game. So the primary difference is like what they target. Some enemies attack you, some enemies attack your base, and some enemies attack your turrets.
Right.
There's also lots of mini bosses in the game that come out either at like the halfway point of the mission or at the very end. Yeah, there's artillery, there's like enemy snipers, there's like enemies that birth other enemies. There's a pretty wide variety.
Fun into so many different sizes.
You can also customize your mech with a paint job, and your pilot, you get hats and jackets that you can change out.
Oh, sweet. So basically everything about your character.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sweet.
And all of that's stored in the leaderboard.
Oh, sweet. So you basically start with the same character no matter what?
Well, at the beginning of the game, everyone starts with the same simple mech, but you pick from one of 4 pilots. And then as soon as you beat the first mission, you'll start distinguishing yourself based on the items you find and the items you choose to purchase.
Right.
Now, does one pilot affect the gameplay at all?
No, it's mostly the characterization. There's a minor like story variation based on which pilot you choose, but it's mostly like the look of the character and the banter they do while you're fighting.
This is not good.